I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Wednesday, November the 11th, Veterans Day. Thank you for all of you guys that sacrificed. Brought to you in part by Zactran, an antibiotic by Boehringer Ingelheim that's approved for the treatment and prevention of bovine respiratory disease. Remember to observe your 35-day withdrawal period after treatment. For more information, go to Zactran.com or visit with your BI representative. How much higher are we going to be this week? Well, we know the fat cattle market's going to be significantly higher. We traded at 107 last week. This week, you know, guys should sure be asking for $112. Your December live cattle futures contract is just under that, so guys would like to get their basis back in line. But 110 at the least, that'd be $3 higher. But it'll be interesting to see, and guys should continue to dig in. These packers are going to be aggressive for cattle. They've sold a lot of product out front. They're going to have to step up their kills to meet the demand and what they've already promised to their customers. And so just stick with it, guys, and get all you can, because the opportunities aren't very often that we can gain this much in the market, and sure going to gain several dollars in your fat cattle market. As we go forward on our feeder cattle, we expect to see the good times last longer than just this little skip right here, where we're getting good demand on lighter supplies of market-ready cattle. But big feeder cattle receipts in the northern plains right now. But as I was talking to some of the guys early this week, the big receipts they're seeing just a little bit earlier than normal. It was dry up in that country too, and guys were bringing their calves to town a little bit earlier and a little bit lighter than usual. So we're likely to see the big runs in the northern plains kind of peter out here before we get going too far. And then as you go towards the end of the year and early next year, where we normally see our bigger receipts in the Midwest, bound to be big demand for the calves, and I'm talking in Iowa, northern Missouri, places like that, where they normally see their biggest runs late in the year or early into the new year, because those guys were busy farming and they weren't able to get their calves weaned till they got done. And so normally we see a little bit later run there, and should be very good demand for those calves then, because we won't be seeing any of those numbers over in the northern plains. And like I've been talking, the southern plains, the receipts have been extremely light. The last 2 or 3 weeks we've seen that, and we're in a fall run, guys. We ought to be seeing big runs. We did see them pick up again this week, but go back a couple weeks during the ice storm and following that, just average runs in the southern plains. And now we're starting to notice that the southeast had extremely light receipts here the last few weeks, and that just goes back to during the pandemic, when we had the big demand and the big price on cull cows. Guys sold a lot of cows then, and it's going to show up, guys. We got lighter numbers of calves. That's going to bode well for your market down the road. So we've got some things to look forward to here for a change as we go forward, and we're in an up market right now. What else happened? We saw on Tuesday announcement that McDonald's has joined many of your other fast food restaurants, and they're going to be introducing next year a fake meat product sandwich, going to be calling it the McPlant. And as delicious as that sounds, not expecting that to be any more successful than your Impossible Whopper or any of the other fake meat sandwiches that we've seen out there. We just haven't seen a lot of success in those. But you know, it's getting to the point where you know, a lot of us haven't been back to Burger King since they made the big push, and probably because of the advertisements that they had, and kind of poking fun at cattle people and the cowboy and things like that. And I sure haven't eaten at a Burger King. I can't remember the last time, but now it's getting to the point where it's going to be harder to travel and continue to not visit those places that have fake burgers. But you guys just do whatever you think you need to do. But it's getting tough to blackball all of them. Let's talk about the board on Tuesday. December live cattle futures up another nickel at a 111.87, like I mentioned before. And so we should see guys at least ask for $112. If they wanted to dig in hard enough, it's hard to stay together, guys. I know it is. especially when you're wanting to stay current and move cattle. But you sure ought to be thinking about $1.12, and I wouldn't settle for a whole lot less than that. February live cattle futures up 2 cents at 115.10. Going out from there on your live cattle futures, and they were down just a dime to up 95 cents. So after your big gains on Monday, that felt pretty good to hold as well as we did going further into the week as we went through Tuesday. November feeder cattle spot market down 77 cents at 140.85. That wasn't near as much as it gained on Monday, so holding pretty strong, and that's considering the big gains that we saw in the grains on Tuesday. December corn up 15.5 at 4.23 a bushel. November beans up 33 1/4 at 11.38 1/4. And for your feeder cattle to hold that well after a big Monday, that's showing a lot of muscle there too. January feeder cattle contracts down just 32 cents at 140.40, and as we went on out from there, just kind of mixed, not doing a whole lot, from down 40 cents to up 12, so pretty much unchanged as we went for out fronts on your feeder cattle contracts. No fat cattle trade so far this week. And your packers aren't going to weaken and give up easy money there. And it looks like your guys are holding pretty firm right there. And I'm not sure where everybody's priced, but like I said, sure ought to be priced at $1.12 or better. And I would say $1.10 is easily obtainable. Let's don't give that up easy, guys. Especially you guys up in the Midwest and the Eastern Corn Belt. Don't give up too easy, because you've got the right for a much higher market here. If you remember, just a few weeks ago, you lost all that market position there, right ahead of that bearish cattle on feed report. Box beef cutout values higher again, and not just a little bit. Big jumps in there. And we were talking that we were expecting your box beef cutout values to start recovering a couple of weeks ago, and they weren't really. They were still kind of running weak, but now we're seeing them gain in big hunks. But on Tuesday afternoon, choice cuts 222 1/4, up 486. They've gained over $8 just this week, the first 2 days of the week. Selects gained over $10 just this week. Select cuts Tuesday afternoon, 208.55, up 618. These packers ought to be fairly easy to deal with. Slaughter, not as aggressive as we'd like to see it, but we're thinking maybe Saturday they should come in, because they're going to need a lot of product for everything they've sold out front. 237,000 through Tuesday. That's 3,000 less than last week, 5,000 more than the same week a year ago. What else is going on? We've got big sales coming up going forward this week. Bassett, Nebraska's got an impressive sale lined up here for Wednesday. South Central Regional Stockyards, my friends, the Patton family there, and I want to give a shout out to Dave Patton. He's a veteran, he's a Marine, former owner in there and partner. Jerry Welshmeyer was a Vietnam veteran. Good vet people in there, and I tell you what, they've got over 2,000 head, be some of the best Central Missouri calves you can get your hands on. Go on to dvauction.com, view and bid that sale, and you won't be sorry. But look at your feeder cattle market, your real-time index on DV Auction late in the day on Tuesday, sitting at 136.90. That's up $1.02. Look at some of your big sales. How about Ozarks Regional Stockyards, West Plains, Missouri? 4,500 head there. It took them a while to get their receipts back up. That's one of the places where the receipts have been really lagging behind here the last month or so. But good run, 4,500 head through the ring, $5 to $10 higher. Spot $15 higher, and that would be a mix of all classes of cattle there, but heavy on the calves. And then I've been telling you guys about this in-house video that DV Auction is helping them out with, and they are getting a lot of receipts through there. And West Plains, Missouri, that's extreme south central Missouri, they had another 35 loads on the in-house video, and you guys need to be paying attention to that, because there's a lot of those northern Arkansas, southern Missouri cattle selling on the video there at Ozarks Regional Stockyard in-house video. Some of your other big sales. How about Philip the Giant? 9,400 head when I pulled the automated report late on Tuesday. Likely they weren't done yet, going to be working towards 10,000 head or more, but really good market in Philip. and on heavy receipts, steer calves $1 to $5 higher. It's kind of hard to judge the heifer market because they get spots of these replacement quality heifers, and I'm going to tell you about another set here in just a second. But when they get some of those, it kind of throws your market off, and you really can't judge replacement quality heifers on a market type deal. But look at this automated market report out of DV Auction, Cattle Market Central there, and look at these steer calves on the best tested weights. 1,484 head of the 4-weight steers, and Philip averaged 456 at 178.68 on the average. How about your 5-weight steer calves? Almost 3,500 head of 5-weight steers in one sale, Philip, South Dakota. That's all your steers went through there at the weighted average price of $163.16 on all your 5-weight steer calves. Most of them would have been fancy. The plainer end of them would have been fancy compared to a lot of sales. How about some 6-weight steer calves? 1,345 of them, averaged $628 at 158.06 on the average. Told you I'd tell you about some replacement quality heifers. How about a string of lightweight red heifers, be replacement quality, weighing 494 pounds at 176 heifers, guys. Some of your other impressive quotes around the circuit: Beaver County Stockyards, Oklahoma Panhandle, that's a Beaver, Oklahoma, 58 head, 805-pound feeder steers there at 149. Impressive quote. That's over $10 higher than your index price for an 800-pound steer. Atkinson Livestock Market on the Yellow Brick Road up there in Nebraska, the old reliable 64 head, 872-pound feeder steers bring $148. But your best quote that I saw, your Zach Tran top quote of the day, Kimball Livestock Exchange, Chad Heason, the Christensen's ownership there, 182 head, 982-pound feeder steers at 143.60. And that's your feeder flash for Wednesday.